Do you have a Gen 3 Prius or a Lexus CT200H and you have a bad AC compressor? Well, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the compressor, also how to deal with removing and recharging the refrigerant, and also the safety aspect of this job since we are dealing with the high voltage electrical system. Stick around. So I'm going to show you where the compressor lives here. This is my mock-up, but the compressor is right here. It has 3 bolts to hold it on, 2 electrical connections, and 2 hoses. And it's very easy to do. It's not hard. All we have to do is get the airbox and a couple things out of the way, and it basically comes right out. So let me go ahead and pull in the real Prius and we'll get started. Here are the parts I'm going to need for this job. I first have a compressor. This is a remanufactured unit. Customer got it on Amazon. I'll leave the link. And we have the O-ring kit that comes with the compressor. Now this compressor comes filled with oil, so we're not going to need any oil. But if you do need oil, if you buy a compressor that's dry, you will need a POE oil. So this is from Supercool, good product. It has a high dielectric formula, so this is not going to conduct electricity. And this is why we don't use PAG oil in these systems. PAG oil conducts electricity. And if we have an electrical problem like we did in our compressor, that can actually take the high voltage that runs this compressor and put it on the outside of the compressor, which is what's happening here and why we're having to change the compressor. There may be special things you also need if your compressor has failed mechanically. If you have puked a compressor mechanically and there's metal through the system, you're gonna have to flush the whole system. You have to replace the receiver dryer, the TXV valve, and possibly the condenser. So just keep that in mind, that if the compressor is working electrically but not working mechanically, you have some more parts you have to buy. In my case, the connector that goes to the compressor was corroded. It got water in it, and that's what actually killed my compressor. So I got another plug here. I'll put the link for that as well. It's a common problem on these to get water in that connection. And so I just got another plug because this is corroded. So let's go on to the car. So the first thing we have to do is go ahead and drain the refrigerant. Now I already have the safety plug out of the back and the battery disconnected. Again, I've been diagnosing this car and I had to do that for diagnosis. So if you do not have an AC machine like I do, a lot of times you can go to a shop and get them to pull the AC down for you and then recharge it when you're done. So we're gonna go ahead and recover. So the recovery process is the same as a regular compressor. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the recover button on our machine. I'm gonna hit the do not save service record. I've already got everything connected to the car, the high side and the low side line, and twisted in, so the system's actually connected to the machine, as you can see on the gauge readings here. I'm gonna go ahead and press the green arrows until we're checking inlet pressure on the machine. It's gonna ask to set up an identifier, which I do not have. So I'm just gonna press the green arrows, and then it's just going to recover the refrigerant like any other car, any other time you've ever used this. The difference is in the oil injection, the type of oil we use, and when we're charging it, the machine's gonna act a little differently. Okay, so first thing we have to do after we purge the system is go ahead and remove this. I've got all this loose already. So this is your airbox top, and then we're gonna remove our connector here. You have a little latch there that you press down on and pull this connector out of the mass airflow meter. Stick that up there. Air filters out of the way. You have a 10mm bolts here, one at the very bottom, one right here, one right here, and one right here. And this will pull out. You have a hose here that kind of gets tangled up in it. We're just gonna move that out of the way. And then that's going to give you access to the compressor. So once you get the airbox and everything out of the way, you're gonna see the compressor right here. And there is a 10mm bolt right here that's holding this AC line on. It's the high side line. And you have an electrical connector right here. And this is the part that is actually jacked up on mine. So we're gonna unplug this and I'll show you guys. I tried to clean it out, but there's still some corrosion in here. And if you look down in the plug, of course, if you've seen, let me see if I can focus in here. There you go. You see all that blue corrosion on the top of that plug, and that's what's killed this compressor. So we're gonna take this off here, and then we have a nut right here that we have to take off. That's the bracket there that holds the compressor on. You have one up here, and then you have two on the bottom. So we're gonna take this off, and then I'm gonna try to sneak this out. They say you have to take this hose off right here, but I think we can do it without it. We'll see. So underneath the car, you know, you can crawl underneath the car and lift it up, whatever you gotta do. There is this connector right here. You have to pull this, and what I do is I get a really tiny screwdriver and I'll slide this forward, press this down, and this is your spicy wires here. And you gotta make sure that, you know, everything has been de-energized, and I'll put a video up on that. You have your two bolts right here that hold your compressor on. They're 12 millimeters, and you have this line up here that has to come off. And hopefully we can slide this off without this hose having to be disconnected. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so after you take these two bolts off and this line right here, remember we have to put O-rings on the line. Just match up the O-rings right here with the green O-rings that came in your kit. Right here and right here, low side and the high side. After you get this unplugged and everything else, I'm losing focus here with my camera, you're just going to push this thing out this way, because you have to get over this stud right here that's sticking out. And so you're gonna push this kind of into this radiator hose. The hose will bend enough. You should be able to get it out without actually having to take the hose off and draining the cooling system. And you're going to pull this compressor, rock it backwards, and come out backwards through right here in this area. And it should just roll right out in your hand, guys. Easy peasy. So bolting up the new compressor, the bottom bolts, they torque down to 25 foot-pounds. The nut up top torques down to 10 foot-pounds according to specifications I have, and the line sets torque down to 87 inch-pounds. Now remember to replace your O-rings and just grease them up with a little refrigerant oil. I did find when I took one of the, was it this one? I don't know, I may have lost it, but the O-ring that I took off the high side line just kind of came apart in my hands. So definitely with this amount of time on it, we want to replace both of those O-rings, and it should come with your compressor. Okay, this is the view from the top. Just remember you have to plug this back in as well. And this line is easier to get from the top as well, torqued down at 87 inch-pounds. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in the rest of the airbox, and we'll go back to the AC machine. We're gonna pull a vacuum on it for about 20 minutes. I may just go ahead and do 30. It's because it's raining outside and it's a lot of humidity in here. So I may just go ahead and do 30 just to get it down. And remember, if we have to add oil, this is the time to do it when we're charging. And we have to use POE oil. We cannot use regular PAG oil. Do not use a pre-charged can that has oil in it from, you know, one of your big box parts stores. You have to use that ND11 Toyota oil or something equivalent to it, so you're not sending electricity through the case of the compressor if something goes wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna do a performance check of the AC system and make sure that everything is running like it should. Okay, just came in on a test drive. We are right at 40 degrees, okay? And the outside temperature is 79, which is just about, that's about as good as you can get. You want half of your ambient temperatures. Now, if you have it's a very humid day or something like that, you may not see half, and it's actually pretty humid here. I live in the southern United States, and it is middle of May here, so it's pretty humid. It's been raining all week, but that's about as good as we're going to be able to get with this car here. So I think the customer is going to be happy. I did check all the codes and everything else. We don't have anything. We got some in the door module, but that doesn't mean anything. But all the codes that we had in the AC system and everything else have gone away. So this is a confirmed repair. I'm going to type this stuff up, send it to Identifix. And also, if you like hybrid stuff, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out as a creator. And if you learned something, leave me a like or a comment down there and tell me what you learned, and tell me, you know, what you think about this repair, if you've done it yourself, if you've seen other issues or anything like that. I always love discussions down in the comments. So that's it for now. We'll see you next time on Auto Scholar with Mr. B.